we can send it out to them.
Yeah, we can email it out later on today. So hi everyone, welcome to Get to Know FemCity. We had some Zoom issues this morning or this afternoon, so sorry for those that signed up and couldn't join. I don't know what's happening, but from my end, Zoom wanted to install all these new updates and it was giving me wonky messages. So hopefully it's all fixed for the rest of the day because I'll be on Zoom for the rest of the day. This is Lynn Pelzer. She is the FemCity COO. She's a bright light in this world. She's just amazing. So I'm so happy I got a chance to get to know Lynn because Lynn has a summer home or a second home in the Southwest Florida area. And while she was there vacationing, she attended our FemCity Cape Coral event and fell in love with FemCity that she brought it up to Canada. And then she went on to launch a lot of other FemCity communities in Canada. And now she's our COO. So she's just amazing and wonderful. So for those of you that are starting a FemCity community, she would be the one that you would work with more closely, but she's just great. She's just the best mentor ever, like just with lots of love and kindness. So Lynn, you're just such a gift to us all. I just want to give you some love today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, FemCity's been a gift to me. And, you know, every time thank you, Julie, saying she's amazing. Yay. When I'm speaking with people that are launching a new city, you did it too, Violet, because you started it. That's how this happened. But, you know, when I was starting it in Toronto, I'm like, I know what you're going through. I know the questions you have because I had them too. So I'm here to answer them. So it's really an exciting thing to be able to work with all the leaders and presidents that are coming on and board members. It's just so great. So anyway, I am going to just take over a little bit here. You just sit back while I talk about you for a minute as we get going. So, and thank you for my introduction. And on our Get to Know FemCity today, if you're just kind of joining on, you know, there's things we want to tell you about FemCity. It's a great informational session today and a great time for you to ask me questions. We're going to be hearing about the history of FemCity, what we're doing now, and you're going to also hear about what we're looking to do and, you know, how it's evolved and what's in it for you. What's in it for you? That's what everybody wants to know. Yeah. Because it's such an important thing. So Violet, I'm going to read your bio. Because I think it's important for people to know a bit more about you. You are always working in the background and in the front ground, if that's what you call it. I don't know what you call it, the foreground. Yeah, you're just always working and you're here with us, but not everybody knows where you've come from or how you got to be here with FemCity. So I just want to read it. So Violette Ayala is the founder and CEO of FemCity. She's been quoted in Success, Entrepreneur, CNBC, Fast Company, Yahoo Small Business, Business Insider News as a business expert. She's been quoted in Marie Claire. She's been seen in People, InStyle, Real Simple magazines, and more, because this hasn't been updated in a while, so my apologies. And she served as part of the White House Women Environmental Leaders Program. She's been a keynote speaker in many different places for women's events and conferences, and FemCity has been seen in Jill, Vogue, AP, Inc.com, and we have over 50 locations. I think we're probably closer to 60 now in the US and Canada, as well as we have virtual communities, which has been kind of a newer thing. Thank you, pandemic. I don't know. So we got really virtual. So we have a Canadian virtual community. So it's for people who, and a US community. If you can't get to a location where we are, then you have still a sisterhood that you can get together with and be part of, just the same as it was in your own hometown. So Violet, I want to lead you through some things. Will you share with us, first of all, the history of FemCity? Like, how did this come to be?
Yeah, so thank you. You know what, I'm hearing you say all that stuff, and I can't believe we're at year 14. We started 14 years ago this month, so it's our anniversary. So I started FemCity. I was just sharing it today with a president candidate who has applied or who will apply to start a FemCity community. And you know, when I started FemCity, I remember I started it because I was going to all these networking events in Miami. I was a PR and marketing manager for the Four Seasons Club and Spa here in Miami. And I got a chance to go to every single networking event here, the $150 ones, the free ones. And I always felt I'd leave feeling a little depleted and like I just couldn't find my people. And so I started FemCity really because of that, because I just couldn't find a group of women that felt like me. And I'm not quite sure what that really means, but I just never felt like I was meeting people that could be family, could be a sisterhood, like you mentioned. And so when I did start FemCity, I asked 5 girlfriends to join me. They were women that I had met at other networking events that I felt kind of were like the most like me. And I told them I wanted to start something small. It would just be for 20 women. We would meet once a month and just support each other. And that was really my vision at the start. And so they all said, yes, let's do it. Let's, you know, I'll invite 3 friends and I'll invite 3 friends. And from that, we had our 20 for our first FemCity event. And the first FemCity event was just completely disorganized. I didn't know what I was doing. We had no speaker. We didn't have our pitches. We just stared and looked at each other. I thought it was a fiasco. I thought it was like absolutely awful. But the second time we hosted a FemCity Miami event, we had 60 women sign up. So I knew that those 20, even though I thought it was really absolutely horrific, they really loved it and they felt like it was a place for them to nurture. And so that was my second aha moment, is walking into that space with 60 women. Many of them I did not know. They were invited by friends, they were invited by other people. And I remember hearing just the laughter and the giggling and the chatter and just falling in love with that and just realizing like, this is exactly where I want to be. So we ran that through Miami, and towards the end of that year, we had a woman who came to our event. This actually this one in October that I'm talking about was at the Ritz-Carlton in Coconut Grove, which is our partner now for our FemCity retreats. And she said, you know, I drive from Fort Lauderdale every single month, and it's not fair because sometimes you sell out, and I think you're being very selfish for not starting a FemCity Fort Lauderdale community. And at the time, I was raising 3 kids, 3 different schools, and was sitting on 6 different boards, raising a lot of money for charities. And I had never been called selfish. And so that really hit home. And as the universe, God, Jesus, Spirit, however you want to, whatever word connects with you, I started getting kind of messages the next day from other friends who said, I want a FemCity community in my backyard. Who do I need to talk to do that? And so after the 5th, 6th, 7th one, I was like, okay, I understand there's something here I need to step into. So I started researching to see like how we could launch FemCity into other communities. I wanted it to always have that feeling. I wanted to make sure that it always felt like home, that it always felt like love, that it didn't feel aggressive. It didn't feel like pressured. It didn't feel like you had to give your contacts, that it really felt nurturing. And so we launched Fort Lauderdale. It did really, really well. And then I said to myself, well, I mean, it did really well because it's right here in our backyard. Let's do something really far away and see if it will work. So we did Philadelphia. I posted a post on LinkedIn and said, hey, we're looking for people to start FemCity. Again, had no website, had no membership, had no idea how I was going to do this. And Cheyenne Palma Dominguez responded and she said, I'll do it. I love that. I'm looking for something and this is exactly what I'm looking for. So she was working for Big Brothers and Big Sisters, a really reputable nonprofit in the United States or maybe globally. And she did a great job. FemCity Philadelphia felt like the same. It felt like home. So that was really the start of how we started growing into other locations. As far as our online curriculum and our evolution, because I know, Lynn, you hinted at that, you know, we used to be called Femfessionals and our local communities were called FemCities. And we switched the name and went completely into FemCity. The energy felt more open and it felt more inclusive for women that didn't view themselves as professionals. And our online curriculum came through a partnership that we did with Google. Google reached out to us and said, hey, we'd like to teach some of your classes. It was like, okay, sure. Anything for our members. Our members loved it. And then Yelp reached out to us and said, hey, we'd love to teach some classes for your members as well on how to get on Yelp and how to deal with negative reviews or even creating your profile. So that really got us into the online space that we continue to do to this day. Every Tuesday, we have a class. We do business classes. We've got one coming up next week on Chat GPT, which is the AI version or the AI process of creating content in a faster way. We have also a class coming up in April on how to create a membership-based business model. And then of course, this month we have a money series that I'm personally leading on Thursday. So we are still in that space. We are on a mission to help over 1 million women start a business and flourish and grow their business. We love seeing women make a lot of relationships and friends, but also a lot of money. We want to see them add a lot of money into their pocket. So that is kind of the evolution of where we are from since 14 years ago.
I love it. Thank you for all that. And I've heard this before, but you always add in some other little pieces that I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So thanks for that. Yeah, what a ride.
What a ride.
What a ride. Lots more ride to go. So what about benefits? So you did kind of touch on some things, like we have all of the online community, and we also have a lot of online classes in libraries. We have live classes. What other benefits do you want to mention for anyone who's wondering if they want to join?
Yeah, so I think one thing I do want to mention is, we've been around for 14 years, and because of that, we have a lot of benefits. So I think generally women join FemCity for the local events, right? That's what we're known for. That's our signature, local events. We have a reputation of the local events being very warm and fuzzy and nurturing and lovely. We are focusing also, even though we want women to grow their business and their money, we also recognize the personal development and the support is a pillar in giving women access to creating more and more wealth. So I think for myself, for those that are overwhelmed by as much as FemCity offers, because we do offer so much more than just the local events, it can be overwhelming, specifically for our newer members. The first place I would start is obviously attending your local events. If you do have a local chapter near you, I would definitely reach out to your local FemCity president. You can go to femcity.com/locations and find her there and reach out to her. Even if you've been a member for a couple of years and you've just been enjoying the online perks, but you really want to kind of start getting more into that in real life space, reach out to your president and introduce yourself. She's going to want to get to know you. And she can also start helping you develop those referrals and introducing you to other members. So that's the first place I would start. If you don't have a physical in real life location near you, we also have, as Lynn mentioned, the virtual space. We have one in the United States. It's a United States virtual community. And we also have one in Canada. We are also thinking about launching a third virtual space, but that will be to be determined, but we're working on that as well. Again, to be there for more women around the globe. So that would be my first. The second one is I would definitely do the coffee chats. I love coffee chats. If you don't know what that is, it is a 15 to 20 minute virtual conversation that you have with another member, maybe in your backyard, maybe in another city, and you share about your business and brand, and she shares about her business and brand, and you figure out a way to help each other, to help each other out. It can be perhaps one's an attorney and one's a dermatologist, or one is a hairstylist and one is a yoga instructor. So maybe the industries don't mesh, but if you could at least support each other by following each other's YouTube channels or subscribing or adding comment on Instagram, there are always ways that we can help each other. So that would be my second place for you to start if you are new, or if you've been around for a while and kind of looking to see what other things you can do. And then the third one is our virtual networking that we do every Wednesday. I think that's a really good ROI. FemCity is priced very low. We do that on purpose because we are trying to serve all women. We want to make sure that we are there for all women. And we do have some rural areas. And so it is a very low price point, but the ROI just on the Wednesday virtual networking is huge. You will get to know 20 women-ish, maybe sometimes it's 15, sometimes it's 25. They'll get to know you as well. The more you share about your business and your brand, and the more relationships you build, the more opportunities come and the more money goes into your pocket. So I would definitely spend time in that space. Other than that, I think the classes are great as well. We have so many great classes coming up. Lynn and I are always thinking of ways that we can give you the resources and the tools that you need to keep up with all the business and the marketing trends that are changing every day. So we are kind of looking to see where we need to be in the next 2 months to give you that information so you can start doing it today. So the Chat GPT is an example, the membership based. We have how to self-publish is coming up as well. And our members can also request. So if there's a class that you're looking for, we will find an expert for you, or we'll partner up with an organization that has that for you as well. We want you to have all the resources that you need to grow and develop your brand so that you can make more money and do it from a place of love, happiness, and gratitude. Lots of information.
Love it. And you mentioned coffee chat. So I just wanted to say that we have a great Facebook group. So for those of you that like being on Facebook or use it for networking, all the members are there. And so there is an opportunity that you could book coffee chats with all kinds of people there and get to know them. And imagine you're just doing one a week, like 4 new connections every month. It's a beautiful way to expand your knowledge of different things and different people. So I love that one for sure. Yeah. What about how we support women through foundation, girls, stuff like that?
Yes. So the what?
I'm just prompting you that little piece. I didn't want to forget.
Yeah, because I forgot. Yeah. So during the pandemic, we went into I don't want to say survival mode, but we went into crisis mode to be there for our members more than ever. So we had a lot of members that lost their jobs. We had a lot of members that were moving. We found a lot of members were now shifting into being not only caretakers for their parents, but also, supportive supplemental pieces of their children's education because everything was online. And so we started to develop a lot more personal development. So we had a series on mental health. We just did a lot more in that space. We also added diversity, equity, inclusivity during that time as well. Lynn and I got certified through the University of Michigan. So that was something that we also added during the pandemic. But we also recognize that not all women can afford FemCity, even though it is low priced. So we do have a scholarship program. So if you do know of a woman who is in a very tight financial situation, cannot afford the $15 a month, she can apply for the scholarship and we will be there for her. We also have a young girls program. So we recognize that we want these young girls to feel very comfortable in business terms and being an entrepreneur. So we do host classes for FemCity girls. We have a class once a month. They're taught by our FemCity global members. And our intention is to give them all the tools that they need. That's completely free. It's accessible to any girl. There's no membership or login or any email capture. It's just pure service. But we do also spend time in talking about how to deal with bullying, how to talk about time blocks, how to go ahead and create a vision board, how to look for opportunities, how to create your resume for the summer, for summer jobs. And then of course, business terms as well, how to start a business, how to budget. So that is also a part of FemCity as well. Again, going to our mission of helping women, but we also recognize that young girls are tomorrow's women as well. So we need to be there for them as well.
And we raise young women ourselves. So
yes, exactly. We both have 2. I have 2 and she has 2. So yes, it's definitely a mission close to heart.
What about can you touch on the difference between we have global membership and local membership? Because some people might be, global isn't for everybody, but it is very well suited to some people. And I know our globals love it and they get a lot out of it. So
yeah, excellent. I don't think we've ever covered this one before, but I'm so glad you asked because it is a common question. So local membership means you have access to one local community. So it is for someone who is only interested in launching and growing and flourishing in their local community. So this could be a real estate agent, this could be a yoga instructor, a hair salon owner, it could be a furniture store, a retail store. So really just locally focused. That's the local membership, that's for you. The global program is not for everyone. The global program is an accelerated program that helps brands grow around the globe. So we have, as an example, I meet with them every Wednesday. We do roundtables, we do small support circles. They are often the women that we quote in our blog, in our articles. They're the ones that also get speaking opportunities. They are partners in our corporate program as well. FemCity does curriculum for corporations and municipalities. That's another venture that FemCity has gone into over the last couple of years. And so our global members are the ones that are our go-to experts. So for podcasts, for anything that we're pitching, for any kind of opportunities that we see, they are generally the ones that we share those opportunities with because their focus is growing globally. So they could be our podcast guests, they could be our panelists, they could be in our IG Live. But again, I'm working more closely with them to help them expand. So it's kind of like it's like a marketing accelerator mixed with like a group coaching. You know, they have access to my brain, and then the conversation's just different. Always in that circle, our conversation is just more geared towards how do you grow in multiple cities around the world for the same amount of time that you're putting in. So that's the difference between the two.
Yeah, excellent. I love that. So what are we doing now? So we have some new cities.
Yes.
And yeah, go ahead. I know we have somebody on right now who's part of a new city. Julie, so West Hartford is really close to their first launch event. So we've got them, we've got Dallas, Fort Worth. Knoxville has been going along. We have new leadership there, and there's a lot of really exciting things happening in Knoxville. They're really growing. Same with Nashville. Like Tennessee is hot right now too. So yeah. Anyone else you want to mention?
I mean, I think we're on average, we're getting like an application a week, which is unheard of. Yeah. So Lynn and I talk about this often. People want to meet in person. So that's really great for us. The last couple of years, 3 years has been obviously trying for everyone. But a lot of our members are saying, okay, I really want to start meeting in person. And I'd like to add also one thing, we touched upon it Monday in our Instagram live, is I know sometimes it's overwhelming, right, to meet in person. If you haven't met in person in a couple of years, it can be a little overwhelming. And if you already have a little bit of anxiety with crowds, I can see where some might be nervous about attending a FemCity event, but you know, we create FemCity events. They're nurturing, they're loving. They're generally not 100 people. They're generally like, you know, 20 to 40 women, but just focus on meeting one person, just one person, you know, like just start small. You don't have to be friends with 20, 30 people over, you know, an hour. Just give yourself some grace and love, and just attend an event or attend a virtual net event, and just, you know, focus on getting to know one person. And then little by little, you start developing your book of business. The more people that know who you are, the more opportunities will come to you because they're sharing your business and your brand. Humans do business with humans they know, love, and trust. And so the more femmes you get to know, and the more femmes that get to know you, and the more that you kind of like help them, they'll help you. That's really the fiber of what FemCity is all about. So just breathe and just get to know one person. Start there.
I have a quick story for you. Yesterday, I was at FemCity Toronto, and there was a woman who's been a member of FemCity for a long time, but she hasn't come to an in-person event since before the pandemic. This was her first one, and she walked in, and I know her. I've seen her, you know, for years, and she did look a little bit like, I'm not sure what to do. And so, of course, in true FemCity style, I see people coming over, you know, welcoming her in, and she ended up coming over and saying, you know, I'm just really uncomfortable. I don't even know what to do anymore. It just feels weird. And so she had a little crowd of women come around her and say, sit at our table. And I could see that in no time she was warmed up and she's right back on the horse, or whatever you call that. So I thought it was amazing. It was beautiful. I was like, you know what? This is what it's about. It's just, you know, people being embraced so that they can move forward and not be blocked by, you know, feeling uncomfortable or not welcomed. So it was great.
I love that. I love that. It reminds me when my daughter, my 23-year-old, when she was in high school, she was didn't have anyone to sit with for lunch. And I would tell her, when you walk into the lunch area, look around for the girl that's also either sitting by herself or the one that's on her phone, and go over and just sit, because often we get so nervous, you know, where we don't know and we don't have friends and we don't have, you know, like, what do we do, that we kind of just grab our phones and just kind of like, you know, but that I think is so much more common than we talk about, is to kind of feel like, you know, I don't know if I belong, or I don't know like how to make friends, or I don't know how to like start talking to people anymore. So that's beautiful that you shared that, Lynn. That makes me so happy. I'm going to keep that in my heart for the next couple of hours. It's wonderful.
I knew you'd like that. So if I don't know if there's anything else that you had, Violet, or should we open up if there's any questions?
Yeah, open up to questions. I looked at the questions that came in, and questions were geared towards in real life events, which is why I wanted to just add that in there. And a lot of the other questions were just wanting to know more about FemCity and how we started. So I think we've covered the ones that came in. Of course, we had like 30 people sign up. So for those that are here, live with us. If you have any questions, we have a couple minutes. Or not, we can just dance. I think we'll just dance our way out. Yeah. Thank you so much, Lynn, for joining me, by the way. I love when we do this together. Thank you. You always prompt me to share the things that I completely forget about.
Well, we're in it together, so it's perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay.
All right. Well, we hope to see you at a next FemCity event, and anything you need, just let us know. And if you need to reach out to Kyra, her email is hello@femcity.com. We don't work on the weekends, by the way. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if you email us at Friday at 4 p.m., don't get grouchy and email us on Saturday with grouchy emails. We try to take off the weekends to be with our family and recharge. So I just want to add that too. Just send kind notes if it's on the weekend.
And if you are listening to this and there is not a FemCity in your location, but you think you might be a great person to launch one, or if you know another woman that you think, oh, she'd be so good at this, reach out, Lynn@FemCity.com. I'm happy to have a conversation with you and just, give you the information and get it started.
Love that. Mwah.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.